Actually, this project was started about 4 years ago, and there is a national mission on education through ICT, Information and Communication Technologies. And so with that and MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development, there have been some joint projects, and we have a partner of IIT Bombay, and through that we have developed a system called AView, Amrita Virtual Interactive E-Learning World, AVIEW. And I think this has really revolutionized the access to education, high quality education in the higher education scenario. And the way it has happened is, now of course there have been other video conferencing tools in the world, but then I don't think they really focused on an immersive classroom experience, and that is what we have been trying to fix through the AView system. In other words, a teacher shouldn't feel self-conscious about doing it through an ICT system. The students shouldn't feel that there is anything different. So it should be immersive in the sense they just feel everything is normal, except that it's being done through the virtual methods. But of course we have evolved over the years, and there have been lots of new features added, and it's growing even more. But I feel this is the future, because in order to have a scalable model of outreach to the sectors in India where traditionally either a higher education institution has been lacking, or we have not had high quality teachers. So now, just sitting in one place, a teacher is able to extend his or her services to the entire nation. And the case in point being, we have had a professor from IIT Bombay who reached out to 10,000 to 15,000 teachers in one stroke across a whole week, and conducted a training session. So, yes.
We've discussed accreditation quite a bit.
Yes.
Where do you think it's going in this country?
Okay. Well, one recent development has been that the government has made it mandatory for all higher education institutions to undergo accreditation. Now, of course, I think there's going to be some resistance to this idea, but I think it's a good thought from the government, good initiative. The case is that if the higher education institutions do not seem to voluntarily undergo quality enhancement, if they do not have a practice of self-assessment, if they don't look in the mirror often enough, I think then the government has to step in, because the government does have a duty and a responsibility to the world to deliver high quality education. And the government is obviously in a mode where they want to be seen as the best in the world. They want to have world-class institutions come up. And the way to ensure quality is to ensure uniformity of content delivery, of learning systems, of teaching, of teachers, and so on. So the accreditation process, I see it as absolutely a must. And every university, every institution must take this in the right spirit. And while the government has mandated it, I think the higher education system should not even have gotten into the situation. They should have always had this quality focus. But now that the government has taken the initiative, I think the higher education institutions can take this a step further and say, I'm not only going to go for accreditation, but I'm going to go beyond that to the global standards. I think that is the way things are going to shape up in future.
So if you could just give us your feedback on this retreat.
This retreat has been a great experience. This is my first time, and I believe this is the first time Amrita University has had a representation here. And several things have struck me. One thing is the high level of interaction. And I think this is one of the best things that has happened in this whole retreat, that all the participants have been really open and very good about giving their opinions and inputs. And this is where all these different perspectives, I think, really are going to be very helpful to all of us. One single person is not going to be able to sit in one place and think of all these different perspectives. And so I think this is a very good step in terms of quality enhancement, where we collect all these inputs. We have a lot of food for thought through these 3 days of discussions. And also some unusual perspectives. For example, Dr. Rich Rice from Texas Tech, who gave his perspective from an approach of communication and rhetoric, which is quite unusual, and a lot of the vice chancellors may be from a science or engineering or management background, and I think for them as well this is going to be a really good fresh outside perspective. And so I think we have a lot of good takeaways from this, and I thought the cafe session yesterday was brilliant because it really brought a lot of people together in close proximity, and it was really well managed. And I also want to specially commend Dr. Pramath Raj Sinha for excellent time management. I think he's had an excellent grip and control over the whole session, didn't allow any of the sessions to kind of go off on a tangent. So all in all, a very good experience.